Hey everyone, this is Nadav Wilf from Lifestyle Perfected. We just got off the Resilient Minds podcast with Eric Balance. And wow, it was heart opening, it was mind opening. We talked about how to have compassion, how to lead better, how to live in our purpose, and how to create structure so we can be free, and also how to see the best in people so we get the best in people. So tune in, enjoy, and let us know what you think.
Welcome everybody to the Resilient Minds podcast. I'm super pumped. I'm extremely excited to be here with my dear friend Nadav. He's not only a dear friend, but a mentor, a guide. He's a fellow spiritual entrepreneur. He's an advisor. He's been helping me do a lot of things when it comes to my vision and goal. And I'm just super excited to have you here, brother. Thank you for being here. It's super we've gotten to know each other a little bit, a lot over these past, few months. And now to have you on the show, bro, it's just nothing but an honor. Thank you, brother.
Yeah. When I listen to you say all those things, I'm looking at myself and I'm like, I might not look like much, but I can do things, right? I can do things.
That right, you get it. And you're amazing at them. You're brilliant.
Yeah. I'm playing them, Start with self-deprecation. It's like podcast 101, right? You set the bar low, over deliver. Right. Let's do this. Let's go.
Let's do this. So, bro, on the show, I always talk about, how our X factor, our experience of life contributes to our Y factor, our big Y, our big purpose. And, I know, you've done a lot of great things, including, founded and created a few startups, a retreat center in Costa Rica, Lifestyle Perfected, which is, a huge, alignment brand that you're the CEO of and really supporting a lot of entrepreneurs, including myself. So I just really want to, dive deep into a little bit, deeper, maybe some people that don't know your story a little bit more about what really started you off, because we talk a lot about spirituality, you and I, in our different platforms. But it's nice to come together and have this seemingly supportive outlook, right, of one another. I think that's why you and me resonate so much just regularly with so much of what we're doing in the world. But what contributed to that? Was there a moment in life where it was just boom, I gotta wake the fuck up, or was it just gradual? So I'm always curious. So please, if there's anything that you want to share from here on out, let's continue to dive deep, brother.
Yeah. It's both, right? There's moments in time that felt significant, that now looking back, you're kind of say, hey, that was kind of insignificant from the stage I am right now. And there's moments that may have felt insignificant, right, and kind of weren't noticed at the time, that now we can look back and say that was quite a significant time. And it's also, what is our relationship to the past, right? What is our relationship? Are we feeling regret? Are we feeling nostalgia from I wish I was there now instead of here place? Or are we feeling, appreciation for the lessons and, love for those times, but saying, hey, this is the best day of my life, right? And that was the best day of my life then. And I have more best days to look forward to. So it's that combination of past lives and our current life. I will say that I've always had a focus on following my heart. I've always had a big focus on freedom ever since I was a kid. I just said, I want freedom. So I'm going to go ride my bike until whatever time I want. And the neighborhood might be looking for me. I remember, the whole neighborhood looking for me when I was a kid, because I was out late, just enjoying myself, right? Or out in nature, or, doing things the way I wanted to in school. So freedom's always been a big aspect. And as I moved into my 20s, I started becoming an entrepreneur. And I failed my first time. I lost $20,000 that I'd saved up in over 20 years, or maybe 13 years, since I started working at 20. And that was a lesson. And I call that one the $1 million bounce. And that was it was prior to really totally understanding consciousness or spirituality or those types of things. For me at that point, it was more entrepreneurship and money and, being kind-hearted and things like that. But I really said, hey, that was my tuition, right? And from a more spiritual standpoint, I was saying, who am I being in the face of this type of situation, and how am I looking at it? And so I really was able to have that shift and learn about resilience. And that's really the first takeaway that I want to share here is it's all about consistency and alignment, and then consistency in alignment or misalignment. I mean, you want to be more consistent from an aligned place than the misaligned place, because you'll end up in the wrong place. But having that consistency, and there's this saying that I love. I don't even know who said it, but it's that a winner's just a loser that tried one more time. And I say it all the time, because it's like, am I still trying, right? And am I experimenting and things like that? And so I have that resilience and consistency throughout my life, where I've always loved what I do. What I do has changed over time because I've changed, but I've always loved it. And I've always, put myself in a situation where I'm going to wake up and say, fuck yeah, I'm excited to do this today. So some days maybe I would want to take a break, but never would I say, I just don't want to be doing this at all, because giving myself the freedom to consistently live in my purpose and passion, whatever that might be at that point in my life, has really been key for me. So, I don't know if there's enough time on this call to go over, all the amazing things and the hardships and things like that.
But I think you touched on something really powerful that I just want to highlight, because, it's like that element of waking up every day, I was on a interview the other day, and I was talking about the Sunday blues, literally having like the Sunday blues when I used to work a job and hating already Monday to come. And like today, and meaning like now in my present moment, it's super important for me to wake up with gratitude and grace and just excited for like, fuck yeah, the day is coming, and like how important that is for us, like, as conscious individuals to allow ourselves to bring that grace and gratitude and like excitement and playfulness into our day-to-day. So this is something that I think that so many people, I believe, that maybe listening right now are like, well, how do I do that? Or like, what's the approach to really waking up every day with excitement? And what is it for you that like it allows you, or what did you need to step into that was really uncomfortable to start giving yourself permission to do that?
Yeah. So let me throw on top of everything I say, the structure that I live within. And there's a saying that structure creates freedom. And we live by that in the way that we work together and we collaborate as a client of Lifestyle Perfected. So that structure is alignment, alignment of feelings and thoughts, and then automating aligned actions, a set of aligned actions into process, into software systems, into repeated consistency, and then measuring, right? And so let me start with alignment, right? It's that alignment is around self-love. What are those feelings that would allow me to do and step into what I want? Well, self-love, deserving, worthiness, that I bring value. And this is what anyone listening can say to themselves. Like I love myself. I bring value. I'm worthy of being happy. I'm uh, deserve to do what I love to do. Okay. Now you might say, okay, great. I'm gonna close this down and go live my best life. Wonderful. You might say, well, I don't know. I'm not sure. Right. So start off with how do you want to feel? Right. What do you want to feel? And what are the things that make you feel that way? And go do those things. Get yourself into the vibration of deserving and allowing and passion and purpose. And one of my mentors, Yasuhiko Kimura, Buddhist priest, says, passion is not something we have, it's who we are as a cosmic destiny. And what I want to say is just take the pressure off. You don't need to, we're going to live like, well, what is that big passion? It's out there, it's somewhere. No, you know what you love to do. So do that and see what unfolds. So that's the first aspect is alignment. And the second aspect is automation. So if I love doing those things, what can I automate? Okay, so you talked about like the relationship of Sunday and Monday. What does the calendar look like? Can I automate things that I love to do, put them into my calendar, ensure that I create space for them and do them because I've said that I love myself and I am deserving of doing those things. And I believe that when I do those things, my life and my business increase exponentially. It doesn't need to be logical. And then how can I empower others that love to do what I don't love to do, that I'm stealing from them? I'm stealing things that people love to do from them so I can show that I'm grinding and suffering and how much I'm doing, how many things I'm doing that I don't love to do, that I don't trust other people to do well enough. Let that go and support automating those things. And then watch it unfold. And what I can say again, from that place is like, I've always loved myself enough or given myself the freedom to do what I love. Now I used to think, well, I'm lazy. I'm always getting other people to do stuff for me. No, that's empowerment. I'm a CEO. Like that's what I'm here for, is to find people who love to do things and empower them to do it. But when I was younger, I thought, oh, I'm lazy, right? And I should do it myself, but that doesn't work. And then
That's so beautiful, bro. I'm sorry because like you're like allowing me to like recognize myself in so much of you right now, like because I used to think I was lazy all the time too. But you've mentored me to like really empower a lot of my team. Like you've specifically given me tools that have been like, wow, like Eric, this is what you got to say. This is what you got to say it in front of my team. You've even given me like really powerful feedback. And it's been like something that has allowed me to really step into my level of highest values to be a better leader, so that we can carry out because I have no fucking clue what I'm doing, right? Like I'm just learning every day. And like, it's so beautiful to have you supporting me and like next to me because with everything that I'm doing here in Brazil in this retreat center and have no idea what I'm doing, you've already done it, bro. And you've done it like multiple times. So having you on the sideline and like not even on the sideline, like next to me, holding my hand has been so so valuable. And same thing, like I used to think I was lazy. I used to think I was the laziest fucking person in the world. And like, but here I am getting shit done all the time because you're right. Like, we get to empower people. We have this different level of strength, which totally just resonated with me. And it's like, thank you for just, I really want to touch on that because it just like totally healed something that I needed to like really hear right now. And I'm sure that anybody's listening right now probably, can resonate.
Yeah. Beautiful.
But like, no, sorry, I totally cut you off. I
No,
totally.
you're welcome to, because I would just, I would go on and on.
But
Yeah.
brother, this as we continue to go through and like learn as leaders, and this is where I think that for me the path has been like really, I've been traveling around the planet, and it's been me trying to find myself regularly. And what I understood for the longest time was I needed to find something outside of myself to learn how to be this better leader or empower or like bring this certainty to myself or trust, like what you mentioned, because at the end of the day, you can only trust your team or the people that are supporting you in your vision as like deep as you can trust yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I understood for me, and this is something that I really like identified recently, is that the distance it is to go is from your head to your heart. So opening up the heart is something that I've identified with as like really learning this like inherent wisdom and this intelligence. So how do you keep your heart open when times are difficult, when it comes to your team or like a situation with a friend or your relationship with your partner? Like what do you do to keep your heart open, brother?
Yeah. Yeah. I love this question because, we didn't prepare, right? So I'm just I get to just think and share what happens. One is intention, right? It's just knowing that that's the intention, right? And so when I have there's intention, there's practice, knowing what situations lead to patterns of closing heart. And so knowing like, okay, I'm gonna this type of person, leads me to close my heart, right? And I know that. And then practice, right? And also loving myself and taking care of myself. But I'll share an example of that I think is important. When as a leader, around 27, I'm 39 now. I had 40-person company, and what I found was that when a male team member was not performing, I'd schedule a meeting, have a meeting with him, have a discussion, come out, laughing, smoking and joking, and go forward and execute. When there was a female employee that wasn't executing or performing, it would lead to, some level of debate or argument and a lack of resolution. And I said, gosh, man, women are they're tough to deal with in the workplace. I mean, that's just what it is, right? But after the second and third time, I realized it was me, right? It was my own pattern. And I went to my coach and said, hey, I noticed this has happened, 3 times. We went into my past and I, played out where I came home and my mom was, home. I have a great mom, very, very loving and there for me. But in this case, she's on the phone and she's kind of like, hey, go upstairs and clean your room and, do your homework. But I wanted to connect. So then I would go upstairs, I would make a call and, I'd talk to friends and she would come in and kind of, give me a reprimand. And I said, she doesn't really love me or care about me. Women can't be reasoned with and I can never win. And I just brought that with me, along the way. And circling back to the question, it's like, we get to see and bring present moment awareness or past moment awareness to our patterns where we do close our heart. And we can use those to open our hearts, tell the person that we closed our heart to what happened and why, and then, shift it in the future. And I think that's, to me, one of the most solid strategies. Yeah, you might be able to have an open heart all the time. And I'm getting there more and more, but the way that I've gotten to where I am today is by seeing when I'm not doing it and using that as what I call a signpost to show me how do I want to feel and what I want to, think and do in these times.
And recognize those patterns, which is such a key component, I think, for so many of us. I mean, for me, like, I know that with this toxic masculinity that I used to always be attached to, it was something that was a repeatable pattern, and I would show up with total ego, with like a negative attribute associated to it, and would not be open to anybody else's perspective. And it held me back in so many ways. And I held myself back in so many ways because I wouldn't be open to like really like the flow of conversation of like what anybody else might be perceiving or understanding or being going through. And it wouldn't help me learn because I was close to like, I thought I knew it all. You know what I mean? Like I knew it all. Like, fuck this, like, right? Like, so
it's not
I think
knowing at all. It's not, I mean, from my perspective, because I've been there too, and I took a lot of communication courses and leadership courses. For me, it was a fear of not knowing it all and what that would mean about me as a leader, what that would mean about me, as a person. Yes. If people realize I didn't know it all and I wasn't on the offensive to know it all, then what would that mean, right? And it was just this dance of unworthiness and fear of not being good enough and trying to, be on the offensive to prevent that.
And thank you for that clarification, because you're totally right. It was the fear of not knowing it all, right? Like, because you think you know it all, but like the truth is like fuck, I need to figure this out, or like that piece of it was like who I needed to prove myself to, right? It was like I need to prove myself to myself ultimately, but I'm doing that to prove myself to others. And so therefore, like, I'm not really allowing myself to be vulnerable in learning, because how am I going to be perceived or look like in front of other people, and therefore to myself? How am I going to see myself?
Yeah.
So like that became a really powerful way of like wearing a mask for so long. And I guess that leads me into like thinking like, how often do you bump into people or meet people that really are totally unaware that they're wearing a mask, or maybe are wearing a mask and are wanting to truly like take that mask off, because I think that there's a collective unconscious here that really at the end of the day is resilient enough into like pushing through the material aspect of life, but they still don't know what they don't know. So, and maybe like, because you've been doing the work for so long, brother, is like something that I'd be so curious about. And I'm certain that so many, like, how often do you see, and I know that you have tremendous compassion, because like, I know that, but like I know that you see, and you just kind of like, it's like the story of Talib when you got punched in the face. I'm sorry, but I got to bring that up. Right? Like you told me that story, and like your level of compassion, even after getting hit in the face, was like, I was just like, bro, you inspired me by telling me that story. So maybe you could share that story first, and then we can go into that.
Sure. So what I want to say is, one of my guides said this to me on Friday. They said, when we have compassion, it's not our stuff. When we don't have compassion, it's our stuff to shift. And that was like a really great viewpoint. I said, okay, that makes sense, right? So if I'm not feeling compassionate, there's things I need to shift inside. I'm gonna answer your first question, then tell the punching story. So the more that I love myself, the less I feel like I need to change anyone else. And when I started doing personal development, like when I was 30, I started doing these, landmark forum, which I absolutely love, and I've done like 12 other courses, lots of different stuff. I was like going into every month or two some different course for different companies and stuff. And when I first started doing it, I was like, oh, yeah, you really need this course. Like you especially need it. Like you got a mask on and that thing's not easy to pull off. Like it's not coming off. Like just you got to do this course, right? And you're laughing because you resonate, right? You understand, and I think people listening understand. And then the more I let go of the things, my view that I was bad, that I was the shame that I'm not enough, the more that I just was like, hey, you're great the way you are, and can I give you some loving feedback? And no, okay, no problem. Yeah, all good. Let's just be loving, right? Or yes, okay, great. And then I said, hey, by the way, something that's really helped me has been this or that, and if you want information on it, right? Well, I've registered over 300 people into that course when I was, really into doing it. So that was a big part of it where I when I see people, with mass or I see their mass or misalignment, like I'm seeing them for who they really are, who their highest self is. It's just like what you were sharing in the meetings, like I can say, hey, you have this misalignment around the financials. Here's what your highest self wants to do, right? About this. And so you can take the mask off and just be scared or be uncertain and use it to be empowering, right? And so yeah, so that's that compassion and kind of like whether someone's wearing a mask or not, I don't want that to bother me because that's also selfish for me. Like I want to just enjoy it and stuff. So yeah, so that's that one. And then the other story was I was I was in Tulum and I was I don't know, for some reason I had like a little stomach thing, on Saturday, and I wasn't doing anything. And then on Sunday I woke up feeling better and I was like, oh yeah, I was like, I'm gonna go lay on the beach and it's gonna be just like so glorious because I so grateful that I feel better. And it's just like I'm going by myself, just gonna lay on the sand and go in the water and just soak up the sun and just be so happy to be alive and here in Tulum. So I see my friend. I see basically this like there's a swing and this really sexy butt on the swing in a thong, and a guy taking a photo. And then I said, I recognize that butt. Like I've that's one of my girl I used to date slash very good friend now. And so and then she was so happy to see me, so that the photos turned out really good because she was like and so happy to see me, and he was snapping photos, and we all hung out, and it was guys she was dating, and we all were just hanging out, and I was doing the soaking in the sun thing, and they're in the water, and all of a sudden I hear some yelling, and I don't really know what's going on, but like I didn't know what they were saying, and I thought they were like, order us something, or but then I saw that she was kind of getting pulled out. And it's Tulum, it's the Caribbean. I grew up surfing in like 55-degree Pacific Ocean, like 8-foot surf, and I can handle the ocean in that respect. I have a lot of respect for the ocean and reverence. But it wasn't something I could handle. So I ran out to get her, and she's like, come back in, and she sand on her face, and she kind of felt they'd been out all night, and he starts saying like, I told you not to go out there, and kind of, and I said, hey, I think she learned her lesson without you saying it, and he was like so upset, and started kind of raging and just saying, I'm out of here, and this is BS, and da da da. And I just said, hey, you deserve like to be nurtured and feel loved, and compassion, basically. And are you getting that? And without going into all the details, we went to get something out of his car because he was just kind of stormed off. And I said, hey, I just want to say, firstly, I'm sorry, if you got upset, but you got to treat her well. And, this is one of my very close friends. And he was like, I can do whatever I want. I was like, no, you're going to treat her well. And he's like, he just started raging. He's like, I'm going to kick your ass. So I just, stood there, and he's coming in my face, and I'm super calm because I used to box, and, I've been hit before, and I just wasn't interested or in the mood, to get in a fight. And he punched me in the jaw, and I just stood there and looked at him, and I just gave him compassion because I was like, this person's obviously going through something. To be in this place right now, in this beautiful place with this beautiful woman, and this beautiful man standing in front of him, and wanting to hit him in the face. And it had me see like the level of vibration that I was on, where I could just take that level of aggression, or just not go down to it, not want revenge, not want anything.
And I think that was the most beautiful thing when you told me the story, was like, I really recognized the level of love that you were like showing up as, even though these external circumstances, and how often do we allow external circumstances or people, what they say or what they do or what they create, or, what's going on in the world, to affect our internal life. And, it's quite the opposite. It's like, how can we like really impact our internal relationship with self so that our external relationship becomes even better? And I think that you really, like, when you share this story again, like, I feel like the embodiment of peace and grace and love and compassion is totally like relevant with you, brother, because like, Nadav, I've had the pleasure of spending, a lot of time with you, and sometimes like, and in person too, and we like were able to just like connect deeply. And bro, like, I love how aligned you are to your mission, how much you embody what you do, and how you like genuinely show up for me, and I know for many others. So I really just want to like acknowledge that, because I think that you're a blessing, brother, and like, I'm very humbled and grateful to call you my friend.
Thanks, brother. Yeah, it's we're creating something amazing together, right? Like life-changing, world-changing. No sugarcoating. So yeah.
We really are. And like, bro, I remember telling you even about this project that, in Brazil, this development, and I had no idea. I'm like, just so scared. And you're like, bro, I got you, I feel so supported by you. I feel so excited, and I'm so thankful, because like, you gave me a roadmap to follow, and you're like literally holding my hand the whole step of the way. And without, like, there's nothing more that we can do, like this merging of consciousness that we've like been able to bring together, and what is capable as a result of like executing this, and then what else is to come afterwards. I'm like super excited and inspired, and like feel empowered, bro, because like we're really two gentlemen focused on like service and
I like
what I
that.
see.
I like being called a gentleman.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And like I feel it's beautiful to have you as such a powerful mirror for me because what I see in you ultimately I see in myself, and it's just it's a blessing, bro. I just, again, thank you.
Yeah, with pleasure. I mean, it's amazing, right? And it's all selfish too. Let's say that, being selfish is a good thing, especially when you're, there making a difference, for people. So it's also a selfish, thing as well of like, you know, making a difference, feeling good about making a difference, making money, you know, recognition, contribution, and it all feels great. So why not do it, right?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, I think we live in this world for feeling. Like that's the whole
Yeah.
purpose of our life, is to create a powerful feeling in our hearts, like in our lives, in around people. And I know for me, and I can't speak for you, but for me, like when I see other people fulfilled and excited and feeling good about life, fuck, do I just like have way more drive, way more ambition, way more hunger to continue.
Yeah, totally. I mean, once you have that and taste that, what else is there? What else is there, right? Like, let's talk about that. Let's talk about we're either, on the court or in the stands. And um it's a choice. And it might be scary to get on the court. For me to do public speaking, I mean, it took me 20 times on stage in front of hundreds to over 1,000 people to feel comfortable. But the discomfort of not doing it was more than the discomfort of doing it, right? And I just want to encourage anyone that's listening that, you have a passion, you have a dream, you're going to have reasons why it won't happen. But those are patterns. And I'll just share, like sometimes in the evening, I feel like I'll have a pattern where I feel like, what I'm doing is not working, I won't be successful. Or I'm just like, but I just say, hey, you know what? You're just tired right now. And you know this time, and you know that this time of night, sometimes this thought will come up, and just let it go. Because tomorrow is a new day. And you know what? You wake up fresh as fuck every morning, ready to party. And the reason you're tired right now is because you gave it everything today. And that's my choice. And that's what it's about, right? And being in action and enjoying and all that. So, that's I just encourage anyone, you don't need to take a massive leap of faith. You can add an hour or a couple hours a week of what you love to do and your passion into your calendar and start enjoying being in action about it and see where it takes you, essentially.
Yeah, bro. And that's like that, that starts changing the rhythm of life. That starts changing those patterns of like discomfort, because yeah, I feel like we get more confident each time we do it, right?
Yeah.
And that's something that definitely has helped me, is like just the consistency, like you mentioned. So, bro,
Yeah, it's like
dude,
second nature.
it becomes second nature, exactly. So, dude, like, tell us, if anybody, you've dropped tremendous amount of love and wisdom here, but like, if anybody wants to know more about, what Nadav does, what Lifestyle Perspective does, how they can connect directly with you, where can they find you? What can they do to find more information?
Yeah, you can just go to at Nadav Wilf on Instagram. Um, you can go to lifestyleperfected.com. And that's about it, folks. I mean, it's just simple things. Yeah. So if you guys want to connect, you can write me on Instagram. You can go to the website. We do corporate coaching. So, if you own a company, we can give you a demo session. If you are at a company, you say, hey, you know what? I want to bring emotional intelligence and better help people feel better, bring better communication to my company. I would like to understand how to do that. We can help you with that, right? Even if you don't own a company, if you're an employee or team member, then we can help you do that. So
I love it. And everybody, like, check out Nadav, go check out the website. Like, this man really knows how to really bring that emotional intelligence to everybody. He's a wise man that I'm just grateful to be associated with. And brother, I have a last question for you, that I ask everybody. If you had 3 days left to live, what would you do?
well, I think that's a pretty easy one. I mean, I would definitely do some extreme sports. So I'd do some skydiving. I'd find the best surf in the world, and I'd have some great sexual experiences, and I would tell everyone that I love them, and I would give away everything I have. But that's that's the beginning of the list. We'll see what else.
I love it. Dude, thank you so much. Do you have anything else you want to add before we jump off?
No, that's it. Just that I love everyone. It's great to hear from everyone, and just I hope you enjoyed this. So
Bless your hearts, guys. Check out Nadav. Make sure you follow him, subscribe to him on Instagram, and make sure that you guys reach out and say hi. Love you, brother. Bless your heart. We'll chat soon.
yeah. Wow.